Let's begin, everybody. Laying on your back, let's bring our hands. I'd like you to bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart, right around the heart center, elbows resting on the floor beside you. And let's close the eyes. Nice big inhale into that space below the hand that's on your belly. Moving the breath through the belly and out laterally into the side ribs like an accordion. And lastly, up into the hand over the heart. As you exhale, feeling the upper lobes of the lungs emptying, side ribs moving in, belly moving in towards the spine. Just reconnecting with the breath here, with how your body's feeling this morning. And noticing if there's any areas that feel sore or fatigued, anywhere that might require a little bit more of your love and attention this morning. And also noticing what the quality of the heart and the mind are, without any sort of judgment or trying to change anything, just sort of checking in with yourself and noticing that state of being. And as you breathe deeply throughout the body here, feeling the shoulders and the arms becoming heavy and relaxing any tension that's held through the shoulders or the back down into the floor. Relaxing the jaw so that there can be a small separation between your teeth and the face relaxed. One more big breath here. And then slowly you can open the eyes and draw the knees up in towards your chest, wrapping the hands around the front of the shins. Let's have a little roll here, side to side, just like we began yesterday. You can roll from the tailbone across your hips, pulling the knees higher. You can start to roll into the lower and the mid-range of the back. And then bring the knees a little further away again, go a little lower across the low back, tailbone, sacrum, and one more time, back up to mid-back. And then without rolling, just holding the knees here at center, let's begin to widen the knees apart away from one another, bringing the soles of the feet together. And we can reach on up and interlace our fingers and clasp them around the feet or the ankles. And then resting the head onto the block or the pillow, you can always prop it up a little higher if you need to. And the other option too, rather than using your hands around your feet or ankles, is to use your strap if that makes it more accessible for you. So in this position, pressing the soles of the feet together, let's draw the heels in towards the belly button, plugging the shoulders back down away from the ears. Now feel free to roll side to side, just like the last one, if that feels useful to release your hips and your back. And if that doesn't, it just feels better for you to hold it stable, then you could do that. And then without rolling, we'll just settle into the very center of the back. Let's plug the shoulders down away from the ears a touch. Nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, hooking your hands around the outer edges of your feet. So left foot, left hand, right hand. We're actually going to begin to separate the feet apart into what's called happy baby pose now. So the feet are going to be directly above the knees and the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. If clasping the feet with the hands doesn't work, you could use the strap around the feet instead. So I'm looking for that kind of 90-degree angle from hip to knee all the way up to the ankle. And as we draw down in through the hands, pulling the feet down, the knees will sink down towards those side ribs and we can feel that opening through the hips. Feel free again to roll a little bit if you'd like from side to side. Again, just make sure those shoulders remain relaxed here. A nice big breath into the belly. And then without rolling, just holding it here at center, nice big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly release and set the feet down to the floor. So knees bent, feet on the floor. We'll take our right leg now and cross our right ankle on top of our left thigh. So just the ankle is on top. And if we create a little bit of flexion through that right foot, that will help to stabilize the knee. And then from here, hugging the left knee towards your chest, bringing your right hand through that little window that your legs create. And we can interlace the fingers behind our left thigh and then rest the head back down. If you're a little bit more flexible, you could always interlace the fingers to the front of the left shin, and that will create a deeper opening through that right hip, but just adjust as needed. And again, if using the hands around the leg doesn't work, then feel free to use a strap around the back of the left thigh instead. So we want to keep that light flexion through the right ankle, and then feel free here if you'd like to roll side to side again. Nice big breath into the back body here, shoulders soft. Without rolling, just hold it here at center. Have another big full breath, and maybe if you feel those muscles softening, you can hug the leg in a little bit closer. And then slowly release your left foot back to the floor. Unwrap that right leg, bring the right foot to the floor. And just have a big breath here, hands on the belly, just noticing the difference between the two hips and legs. And then let's bring some balance to that area by crossing left ankle now onto the top of your right thigh. A little bit of flexion through that left foot as you hug the right knee towards you. You can reach our left hand now through that little window between the legs and interlace the hands either to the back of your right thigh or the strap around your thigh, or you could always bring your hands around to the front of your shin if you're a little bit bendier. If you'd like to create movement here, we could roll slightly side to side, just helping to massage those thick muscles running along the sides of the spine and then through the lower back. And then without rolling, just holding it here at center. You'll notice that the shoulders are pulling slightly off of the floor. So let's try and draw the shoulders back down slightly, and that will automatically deepen that stretch. One more big breath. Hugging the legs in a little closer on the exhale. And then slowly releasing the left foot and then the right foot back down to the floor. We're going to recross, go back to our other side, right ankle on top of our left thigh. This time, take your arms out nice and wide with the palms of your hands facing up at about the height of the shoulders. And we're going to keep the legs in this exact shape, a little bit of flexion still through that right foot. And we'll just tip the legs now over to the left. So we'll be bringing the outside of the left knee and thigh down to the floor, keeping that right ankle stacked on top of your left thigh. Feeling that opening through that right hip. You could create a little bit more space into the hip if you'd like by bringing your left hand down and pressing with your left hand your inner right thigh away from you and your knee away from you. You'll feel that'll open that junction at that right hip, the area called the TFL. Keeping your right foot flexed, breathe. Relax your right shoulder onto the floor here. One more big breath. Release your left hand and slowly carry the legs all the way back up to center. Let's uncross that right leg. Have a breath here. Again, just noticing those differences between the two sides. And then crossing the left ankle now on top of the right thigh, a little bit of flexion through that left foot. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower the legs over to the right, the outer right knee and thigh coming down to the floor. Keep the left ankle stacked on top of your right thigh. And then we could bring our right hand down to the inside of that left knee thigh area and press it away in order to open into that left hip a little bit more. Keeping the left shoulder and arm heavy and relaxed on the floor. Nice, full, deep belly breaths here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly release that right hand from the leg. Stretch it out nice and wide. Let's have one more breath here. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, slowly bring that left leg and right leg all the way back up to center, uncrossing the legs. And then allowing the knees to drop out wide, the soles of the feet resting against one another and the outer edges of the feet resting on the floor. We'll sweep our hands now all the way over our head, interlacing the fingers and then rolling the palms of your hands away from you and pressing up high through the arms. So it's like you're pressing the palms of your hands away from your body here, creating space from the hips through the side bodies and armpits all the way into the wrist. Nice big breath. Inhale, press up. And as you exhale, release your hands, sweeping them all the way out wide. So about the height of the shoulders, the palms up, and then carrying the knees all the way back up as well. From this position, bringing both knees up towards your chest. Big inhale. And as you exhale, lower the legs over to the right, bringing that right knee and the foot all the way down to the floor. And then we can take our right hand and hook it over top of the outside of our left knee and thigh area. And we're not pulling with the right hand, we're just creating a little anchor. Keep the left arm and shoulder heavy here. Breathing down into the belly, out into the side ribs. Expanding into that twist on the in-breath and then relaxing into that twist on the out-breath. One more big breath here. Release that right arm out nice and wide. And slowly bring the legs one by one all the way back up to center. Nice big inhale here. And on the exhalation, lowering the legs over to the left. Once they get to that side, we can bring our left hand and hook that over top of the outside of our right knee thigh area. Letting the legs and the ankles relax here. Notice the way that the path of the breath changes a little bit more expansiveness through the right side of the rib cage. As you exhale, relax the lower back, mid back into this twist. Breathe out any tension, any holding in the body. Inhale, release that left arm out wide again. And as you exhale one by one, bring the knees all the way back up to center. Now keeping them up towards you, wrap your hands around the front of the shins again. And just draw the knees straight in towards your chest, relaxing the front of the hip crease. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift your head up off of the floor, drawing nose and knees towards one another. Wrapping yourself up into a little hug. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly lower your head back down to the floor. Release your hands from your shins and set the feet down to the floor as well. Okay, so let's take a hold of our strap now. And we'll take the right leg all the way up towards the ceiling, bringing the strap around the sole of our right foot. Nice big inhale here, pressing the foot up, and as you exhale, press the left leg long. Plugging the shoulders down away from the ears. Reaching into that right heel, the right leg as straight as possible here. One more big breath, lengthening the breath into the back of your right leg, into the hamstrings. And just try and pull the right toes down towards your head a little bit. You'll feel that'll really extend that stretch into the lower portion of the leg, into the Achilles and the calf. Pulling the toes down a little further, start to press into the heel. And then wrapping both ends of the strap around to the right hand. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, open the leg out wide all the way to the right side. Keeping that left hip and thigh connected firmly to the floor so we're not tipping the pelvis over to one side here. Nice big belly breath. And then slowly bringing that leg all the way back up. Taking the ends of the strap into the left hand now, still around the same foot. Open the right arm out wide, inhale. Exhale, track the leg over to the left. Letting that right hip rise up off of the floor. Reaching back into your right arm, into the right fingertips. You can roll your head back towards the right shoulder. And pull the breath down into the side ribs, expand it into the belly. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly bring that leg all the way back up. Bend the right knee and stretch the right leg out long along the floor. Nice big breath here, noticing those differences between the two legs, the length through the right leg. Maybe it feels like it's stretching a little longer than the left. And then slowly taking that left leg all the way up, bringing the strap around the sole of the left foot. Just taking your time here with this left leg, breathing into it. And then slowly begin to pull the left toes and foot down towards you, stretching into that left heel. Feeling the lower portion of the leg growing long. I'm going to try and position the arms in a way that allow the shoulders to remain soft and relaxed. And then gathering both ends of the strap around the left hand only, nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to open the left leg out to the left side while keeping your right hip firm on the floor. Now reach into both of the heels, the legs as straight as possible. Breathing. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly bring that leg all the way back up. Ends of the strap now into the right hand as you stretch the left arm out wide. Another big inhale. And as you exhale, tracking the leg over to the right. Allow that left hip to roll up off of the floor. Full breaths here, expanding the breath downwards, outwards. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly carry that leg all the way back up. Keeping the leg up tall here, let's stretch the right leg up as well inside of the strap. Both feet up above us. And then moving the legs out wide along the strap, as wide as we could comfortably go, or to the length of your strap. And then turning the soles of the seat up towards the ceiling, stretching out into the heels. If the strap isn't long enough, you can always just grab the outsides of your ankles with your hands or your shins. Try to press out into the heels, the legs still straight, shoulders plugged down. Inhale. And as you exhale, drawing the legs all the way back together. And then bending the knees and placing the feet on the floor. So we can move that strap off to the side. And we'll roll over to one side and come all the way up into a seated position. And if you'd like, you can get a little bit of height underneath your hips here. So you could take a block or a pillow and tuck that underneath the back edge of the hips. So you've got a bit of support. So then from here, we'll bring the soles of the feet together, kind of like what we were doing on our back. And as you do that, just take a peek down at your heels and make sure that they're aligned, because sometimes when the hips are a little bit out, one foot will kick forward a little bit more than the other. So we can wrap our hands around the shins or the feet. Let's inhale and stretch up nice and tall and plug the shoulders back and down. And then as you exhale, we'll slowly begin to come forward over the legs. Now, as we come forward, we want to keep that line of the front of our body between pubic bone and breastbone long. So we're not beginning to shorten it in order to come forward. We're extending the spine forward. Even if that limits the forward movement a little bit, that's okay. Relaxing the shoulders. One more big full breath. And then slowly rising all the way up. We can take our hands to the outsides of the knees and then just slowly carry them all the way back up, having the feet coming out in front of us just a little bit here, so that we have room now for our left leg to come underneath our right leg. So sitting up on something allows the pelvis to get a bit more room in this next pose. So we've got the left heel to the outside of the right hip. And then from here, we're just going to lean over to that left side and take our right leg over, crossing it to the outside of the left knee thigh area. And if you're a little bit more flexible, you can work it back towards the hip. And we're going to take that right sitting bone and root the right sitting bone back down so that the pelvis becomes as level as possible. Now you should be able to feel this through the hips. So we don't want any pain in the knees. So if there is pain, then we need to back off. A modification of this is to come into a simple cross-legged position if this full position is too strong for your knees or your hips. So for those of you that have a little bit more room here, you can begin to slowly lean forward over the legs, bringing the hands to support you in front of the body. And as you lean in, you'll feel that more acutely through the hips and the pelvis. So we'll just spend a few more breaths here, feeling that right hip relax into the stretch, so softening it. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly press yourself all the way back up. And so we'll unwrap the legs now. And we'll take that in the opposite side. So right leg now coming underneath the left leg. We'd like the knee ideally towards the very center of the body and the heel to the outside of the hip. And then if you lean over towards the outside of that hip, it'll be much easier to step the leg across, the left leg going to the outside of your right thigh, and maybe even back in the direction of the hip. And then we'll take our left sitting bone and root it down. So we're actively pressing the left side of the hip down in order to create a level pelvis. So we can stretch up tall like someone's pulling a string up through the crown of the head here, a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, if it's appropriate to go further, then you can begin to walk yourself into this a little bit more, hands walking forward, torso leaning over the legs. Be mindful and respectful of your knees. There should be no pain there. We're just hoping to feel this through the hips, the glutes, maybe even into the hamstrings. One more big breath. And then slowly releasing the body all the way back up, unwrapping the legs and stretching them out in front of you. And we can just give them a little bit of a shake, releasing into them. Good. All right, so we'll untuck that block from below us, and then let's come over into all fours. From all fours, centering the hands below your shoulders, the knees below the hips, so that we have that neutral position for our spine. Nice big inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly let's begin to round our back, tucking the tailbone through the legs, lifting up through the shoulder blades, looking towards the belly button. And then as you inhale, rolling the hips, taking the spine into the body, opening up the chest and the belly, looking up. And then as you exhale, tucking the tail, roll along their spine like a string of pearls, bone by bone. Head just follows along. Inhale, reverse that movement. And you can continue to move with your own rhythm and length of breath here. One more. And then slowly back into a neutral position. So we'll walk our hands just a little bit further here. And then we're just going to slowly begin to draw the hips forward, pulling the chest through just lightly. Inhale, look up. As you exhale, pull the hips back, drawing the hips all the way back towards the heels, forehead coming to the floor. And then inhale again, we'll bring ourselves forwards, up to all fours, chest moving through the gates of the arms, hips dropping down. Exhale, pull the hips back. lowering the chest to the floor, lowering the head towards the ground. And again, inhale, come up. Chest moving through the arms, lower the hips, pull the shoulder blades back and down. And exhale, pull the hips back. And this time, pull those hips all the way back so that you sit right down onto your heels into child's pose. The forehead coming to the floor. Resting here a few full breaths. Walking both of our hands up and over towards the right side. And then up and over towards the left side. And then to center. Rising all the way up into all fours. And then you could come into a seated position. All right, nice work this morning, everybody. So we're going to transition now into Shavasana, the end relaxation. So you can lay yourself down onto your back, getting whatever support you need to. If you'd like a pillow or a bolster below your knees, a blanket over your body, whatever you'd like to get yourself comfortable. And settling in here with a nice deep belly breath. Feeling the heaviness of your bones dropping down into the earth. The relaxation of the muscles hanging from the bones, the skin relaxing over your body like a cloak. And feeling the weight of your legs as they begin to roll outwards, relaxing your toes and the arches of your feet. Feeling the ankles and the knees relaxing. As the legs grow heavy, feel them releasing up into the hips. The hip bones broadening as you relax the pelvic floor. And the spine warm and restful below you. Relaxing into those deeply woven layers of muscle along the back and through the rib cage and the shoulders. As you inhale, feel the rise of your breath along your belly The ribs and the chest opening like a balloon inside of you. And then as you exhale, feel the belly relaxing, the ribs softening around the lungs. As you inhale, feeling the heart become expansive and broad, like a flower in full bloom. And as you exhale, feel the chest releasing deeply into the back of your heart. The shoulders growing heavy. And the weight of the shoulders releasing downwards and through the arms, relaxing the elbows and the wrists. Feel the warmth in your hands, the pulse in the tips of your fingers. Letting the fingers relax, the hands heavy. Relaxing the neck and the throat. And loosening the jaw, that separation between the teeth still there. And the tongue relaxing from the root to the tip. And just allow the face to become expressionless now. Feeling the eyes receding into the sockets. The brain relaxing onto the back of your skull. Even feel the muscles of the inner ears relaxing. One more full breath. Breathing out any little last areas of tension. And then as you feel ready, you can begin to awaken the body slightly, but keeping that relaxation close so it can guide you for the rest of your day. As you feel ready, you can roll to your right side and ease yourself up into a seated position. Namaste.
Stay.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody, this morning.
Thank you.